It's okay. Off your mind, it's okay. Off your mind,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. Man of the masses, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego la wa mo do do do. My ego diary, my ego number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làwọn tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún.
Hello there, brethren. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Máyégún live. So, brethren, welcome to the Temple of Truth. And you know what to do. After reading the caption of the broadcast, read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them to join us for another interesting evening, because Máyégún today. And if you have done that already, thank you. So tonight, or should we say in the last few days, we have been helping to shine the light more on the Christian, Muslim genocide perpetrated by the Islamic jihadists operating in Nigeria. While Tinubu and his gang have been so busy locally and internationally to try to convince everybody that no, they were wrong, right? While they gloss over the killings, by the way, by telling themselves that they've done well. In the midst of all of this, even the the opposition themselves have been in almost like non-existence, right? Simply because the conversation was so kind of like, tricky for them, that some of them avoided the Donald Trump's threat. And it also seemed that behind the scene, they were also dying too. Until, recently, when El Rufaya, the Kaduna Little Finger, started a tour of some of their northwest, northeast, wherever in northern Nigeria for their coalition, ADC. Peter Obi that led his own party, Labour Party, to an election in Anambra, got their own nose also pretty much bruised, right? So before now, let me give you a throwback a bit, because this is now politics now, okay? We'll get to the part of the internationals. International part of it later, right? So in April, thereabout, April, May, this year, when their ADC came, they came with so much like bang, noise, and the idea behind it was kind of like, I don't know, appealing to some people. But it didn't take long before the issue of ambition, individual's ambition, could actually be a problem. But there are many other problems. So we've not really seen anything strategic about them when it comes to how much yappings they have been yapping, right? When it comes to them providing alternative for you. Because Tinubu has failed, APC, Egbekegbe has dealt with you beyond what you bargained for. But what is the alternative? The coalition or the PDP. We'll get to that part too. So Rothiefmi Amaechi, for the second time in the last, I think, 6 months, where he's specifically pointing out that Tinubu is not invincible. Tinubu is defeatable. Tinubu is beatable, and all that kind of like adjective as well. So his recent one is at a forum in Abuja, I believe, where he dissects the chance or the opportunity before the opposition in Nigeria. That if Nigerians are tired of APC for real and they are looking for an alternative, this coalition of ADC, which includes Rothiefmi Amaechi, Obi, Atiku, and I think one other person, but Atiku. So if the trio or more could come together, that's what people are saying. If they could come together and begin to pull all of their supporters together, build a sort of like formidable whatever. Amaechi is reiterating that now. And according to him, if the opposition, if they are ready to get rid of Tinubu and APC, he's got the magic wand if they will listen to him. So that's what we're going to start this evening. Then we're going to go on to where Tinubu had a gathering of Nigerian editors, a guide or something, a guild, right? Those editors, newspaper editors. So they had their meeting inside the Ask Old Rock today. So Koolu used that to give a subtle response to Donald Trump or Trump's threats. So I'm going to get to that one too, and others and others and others after that. So please consider all I have said as intro, okay? Please like the broadcast if you haven't already, and share it as well, because this is what's about to start. So Rothiefmi Amaechi and his own theory of how to get rid of Koolu, the opposition, by the way.
For this ceremony. See, they are all here.
We are here.
Where are they?
We are here.
I can't see the two former vice presidents, the former president and the former vice president. I can't see him. I can't see them. I can't see my former colleague P2B.
It's represented.
So how do we fight for the reform we're asking for? Will it be easy if everybody is not participating? I have spoken before. I spoke yesterday on this issue. I don't know what new thing I will add. The only thing I will add to this will be that you are the citizens. Citizens' participation will stop those who don't want reform. Will government give you reform? No, government won't give you reform. Don't wait for NLC. There's no NLC. I hear their members are somewhere here. There is no ASU. There is no NAS. I was a student leader in the 1980s. In the 1980s, there is no student action without NLC. There is no student action without ASU. We usually meet either in Benin, Kano, Kaduna, River State. We go around. Now, if you call NLC for any action, that's when they will know that from north or from south or from east or from west. It's not going to be easy. And please stop electing people and going to complain after. If you want to elect people you can hold accountable for. The problem with Nigeria is lack of accountability. Somebody can come here and shoot you and nothing will happen. Absolutely nothing will happen. The person won't even be hiding. They will know the person and nothing will happen. It's not the country, it's not that we lack law. What we lack is the rule of law. There are laws, National Assembly, State Assemblies, everybody's passed laws here and there, but nothing is happening. So I will repeat exactly what I said yesterday. If you are waiting for government to make any reform, you are wasting your... Before election, there must be resistance to those who don't want proper election. If you do it after election, you're also wasting your time. We must agree as a people that we must resist just very few Nigerians who are just enriching themselves. They are politicians, they are contractors. You can't be a politician and a contractor. You have to choose one. You can't be the two. So I said Nigerians are hungry. If they are not hungry, I'm hungry. Some people are abusing me. Look at this man, you have been in office for how many years? He says Speaker, Minister, Governor. Okay, they're stepping to go and steal. No problem, that's not an issue. But whether I'm hungry or not, are Nigerians not hungry? So why are those few people who are supporting those the government saying they are not hungry? They are not hungry because they are joining in the stealing. The stealing is beyond what we fought for. So if you continue the way we are going, in the next 3-4 years, we'll gather here again. I gave an example in the last yesterday's session. I said when we were in government, Buhari swore that he will, one legacy he will leave behind is electoral reform, that he will ensure that his government will make sure that votes counted. When the National Assembly brought the bill, some politicians went to him, pushed him beyond his beyond measure, not to sign that law. And he did not sign the law. So there were no electoral reforms. Today, those politicians are on the other side. They are not asking for electoral reform. So the same thing, if tomorrow President Tinubu and his people are defeated in election in 2027 by the action of the citizens come out and hold them responsible the way they were held in Lagos. After, when the new government is sworn in, they will go across and they'll be shouting for what? Electoral reform. So most Nigerians who speak about this electoral reform is dependent on where their stomach is facing. If their stomach is facing the wrong place, they will want electoral reform. If they are chopping, they will tell you that they were taught in primary school that it is wrong to eat and chop and do what? And talk. So I wish you well. I've told you, this gathering will not be enough. Talking whatever they want to say here is, for me, will not achieve the objective. What will achieve the objective is when we all citizens gather and say, enough is what? If you don't say it, this is not the person I've been saying it to. And nobody here will say, this man only talks when he's out of government. I was governor when I say, if you don't steal us, if you don't steal politicians, they will continue to steal because the system does not stop them. The only politicians they arrest are politicians who are against the government in power. If you are with government and you're stealing, you will be chopping, nothing will happen. But if you're not in government, you're not supporting government, they will catch you for chopping previously. And that you must vomit it. Unless you say, I support you, it's okay, you can keep what you have stolen. So, citizens' action is necessary. Don't wait for those who say they are wanting, I've said about NLC, I've talked about ASU, I've talked about NAS. They are no longer in existence. They now carry talks. Didn't you watch NAS election? They had talks. They had vehicles. The government now appoints leaders of those institutions who will be NLC president, who will be MDA president, who will be ASU president. It's not government that does it. Even me, as chairman of Governors Forum, when the president tried to intervene, we resisted it. We didn't allow him. But I now hear that the chairman of Governors Forum was appointed by the president. So what will the governor say? I wish you, Lord, I thank you for gathering, but the outcome of this discussion will not cause electoral reform. What will cause electoral reform is not only that you should vote, is that you go against those who will stop you from your result being announced. It happened in Lagos. So when you say the president is invisible, he is not invisible. I've worked with him, I know him. When you say the results are already written, they are helping to fuel that conversation so that it won't come out. You get the point? If you come out en masse, nobody will write any result. Nobody will take away the result sheet. Because anybody who takes away the result sheet is probably going to cause confusion for himself. God bless us.
He has no job.
He is guilty of the same thing. He said, we, the citizens, have to come out. The point here is this guy lives in their own bubble. But before I tackle him, let me advise first, so that it won't be like we are throwing everything away. Rothiefmi Amaechi was at that gathering where they were discussing the electoral reform and all of that. And it is more or less like asking Tinubu to commit political suicide. Because if you ask them to do the right thing, you're asking them to commit political suicide. In the history of their own power play in Nigeria, the incumbent president is considered as, irremovable, except if those who are the voice behind or the power behind his presidency decided to pull, to pull the lever somehow. That is when the incumbent president or whatever you could become history, not because of the mass gathering of the people. Well, here, Rothiefmi Amaechi has been in government since 1999 and he's just been out of government less than 3 years now. And he's on the other side as an opposition, who now feels like, the country could be managed better, right? And that itself is actually like an indictment too. Well, hey, you've got Rothiefmi Amaechi, you've got Peter Obi, who's got over 6 million kind of like votes, and is believed to have more than 10 million supporters in average. Yeah, I mean on the average. Atiku, who also got nearly 7 million votes, is also believed to have more than that, like generally. Then you have who else is in there with them? I'm trying to pick some, Then you have El Rufai. I don't think that one has any real, real people, by the way. But hey, then you have, you've got Atiku, you've got Obi, you've got Amaechi, you have El Rufai and others. Now, if all of these people genuinely, right, have repented and they are not just like the other side of the coin, which they are, if they want to prove that they are not, they would by now have actually called for all these things themselves, right? Announce a day that they will mobilize Nigerians to the streets. Because there's something I used to be, I kind of like used to be worried, or not worried, kind of like always curious, maybe that's the word, curious, of what goes on in the mind of these criminals whenever they are addressing Nigerians in the sense of their own, the Nigerians say hardship or what people are going through, right? And they have contributed to that themselves, okay? And now they are offering you a solution, and that solution doesn't involve them. It's actually, it's you that they expected to do all of that, possibly rise up and all that, and then they can walk in and say, we are the leaders and all, I don't know. So it's been a curious thing for me, right? They would never mobilize the citizens against the system, or maybe they won't do it again. Do you get what I mean? The reason why they won't is because their losses is so minimal, if there is any at all, in this whole economic hardship or this policies of assault and ongoing corruption and the rest, right? So when these criminal politicians, right, when they put everything inside, like if the country is going to burn, let it burn, like what they did in 2015, it was that boiling point where they felt like they've lost everything. And if Jonathan should get a second term, what will happen then will be like they will be completely finished. There are factors behind that too, by the way. For example, their oil block licensing or relicensing or license renewals and all that. It's actually a big thing for these rogues. Most of them, you don't see them. Okay? So Jonathan was about to probably sign, after the election, Jonathan would be like signing another 10-year lease for the, oil block, for oil block license, so to say, right? And they've heard that part of his plan was to make sure that by the time he finished in 2019, that was Jonathan, that the oil industry in Nigeria, including the oil blocks, right, will be controlled by more than 80% of people from Niger Delta, rather than people from Borno, Sokoto, Niger, Niger State, all those places who are oil block owners, okay, in the Niger Delta. So it was like, no, we can't let that happen. So they put everything in. Politically, they would have finished. So they didn't mind Nigeria to burn down. So they invited terrorists to the border, and they even said if Jonathan failed to probably leave power, they will give him backbone treatment, which means they will be willing to burn down the country. and burn Jonathan with it. And from that mindset is what led Nigeria to what you have today. The most terrorized people in the world. It didn't just happen. So APC happened, and then this happened. So they found themselves on the other side. Right now, they want to save us, but they won't lead it. So what is wrong if they use their money, their stolen money, to sponsor a massive mass protest to demand for this, what they are talking about, electoral reform? They hear me now. So that was Amaechi. Rothiefmi Amaechi would be my Judas Iscariot. Talking about Jonathan, by the way. He was at the forum as well. I think a day before that, his last one, where he was saying they are accusing him of being one of those who went to Barack Obama to report Jonathan in 2015. So he denied it, but somebody was there to probably like say, well, you may not physically have been there, but you met this and you met that. In this clip.
America, I never went to America. That was here in Lagos. Lagos, I was in the meeting. American government, without anybody petitioning to them, who are they God? After the president, no other person. So how can I petition the American government? What would they do? But American government came here after speaking to other countries. What did they come to do? Good luck, don't rig. If you rig, we will not recognize you. Opposition, if you visit violence, we will not recognize you. So they went to the president and told the president their mind. We are here for free and fair election. Please don't rig. Opposition, if you dare try violence, this is our response to it. But Nigerians say, oh, we went for Christian genocide. We went to report good luck. We report him. Do you report the president? The only place you can report a president is either the National Assembly or God. Not America. But you're circulating. Oh, we went to America. We went to America. To do what?
I wanted to also make a correction. Of course, you know that a lot of people know me as Goodluck Jonathan's brother. It's not just about being a brother of Goodluck Jonathan. It's actually my spiritual mentor and everything. And I keep studying him as a book, you know, so that I can graduate from his mannerism. But unfortunately, I have not been able to graduate. I might not graduate, but I am learning a lot. Amaechi mentioned something here. Unfortunately, it's not on set, and I really would like to put the record straight so that people will know exactly what it was in 2013. It shouldn't be about how mobilization was done. Yes, people were mobilized on both sides, but the outcome depended on who was on the seat and his approach to life. And yes, Goodluck Jonathan is one of those persons who says that his ambition is not worth the blood of anybody. And I think that that should be a lesson for all of us, that any president who is on seat should always emphasize that killing of innocents on account of achieving political power should be immoral. So, however, Amaechi also said about going to the US or not going to the US. Actually, it's true that people went to the US, and that's not something that we can hide away under the rug. People went to the US, and we know why people went to the US. And he also mentioned that when Kerry came, he came to tell the government that government should do peaceful elections. When John Kerry came to Nigeria in 2014, he went to Lagos. He never went to the villa. I was in the villa. He never went to the villa. He came as a private citizen. He didn't come as a guest of the government of Nigeria. And he went back from Lagos. So he met the opposition in Lagos, and he came to make a particular statement to the opposition in Lagos. Now, if you wind a little further, immediately after Kerry came and left, somebody by name David Axelrod. David Axelrod was a senior special advisor to Obama, became the strategic campaign strategist of the APC. It was not a coincidence. that a sitting president of the United States, Barack Obama, sent his senior special advisor to become the chief strategist of the Buhari campaign. It's not a hidden secret. We need to keep these records straight always. And in any case, it appears to me as an individual, and this I'm not speaking on behalf of Goodluck Jonathan, he might have his own views on these issues differently, but I mean, as someone who has worked and has stayed behind him, I owe it a duty to always voice out and say it exactly as it is, no matter whose ox is going.
America, I never went to.
You don't try. Because there are so many of us as well who are very much aware of what transpired, which role played by who and when. But all of that is in the past right now. So most of them are now in the boat to save us. They want to save us from APC, especially Tinubu. On the other hand, Tinubu is, as usual, like praising himself. That those who don't understand this reform are those who are criticizing this reform. His reform is working on all fronts. Economy is out of the tunnel. He's always around the tunnel. If it's not inside tunnel, he's taking a corner, or has bent the corner. The hardship caused by the subsidy removal, the blah, and how the media have sort of like reported it. So Koolu brags that even though you may not like him, he considered himself as the most abused, the most criticized, and the most sort of like vilified. He actually used the word hate or something, right? President in the history of that contraption is getting that. He probably gets that right? However, he is confident that his reform will fix Nigeria and also fix the issue of insecurity. Because according to him, the Nigerian military are doing their best, and nobody can accuse him of not funding the military. Or when it comes to fighting terrorism, Nigeria is a sovereign, blah. Nigeria will do everything to defend our citizens, but they are still killing people. They still kill people today. They still kidnap the people today. But again, Koolu and this gang are making us believe that it's not like that, because they are doing their best to end it. Before I take you to the villa, right here is one pastor still sharing his own experience, especially for those of you who want to continue to do your spinning and your propaganda in sweeping this under the carpet, like possibly hope that Donald Trump will forget, and maybe, it's just going to be a phase and there will be no American involvement in this fight against your terrorists, right? His name is, I think they call him Pastor Damini or so. Abel
Damina is my name. Look. I couldn't wait to get back home and be a part of the ongoing conversation. There's been this conversation going on whether there's a genocide in Nigeria or there's no genocide in Nigeria. And I listen to certain individuals who say there's no such thing in Nigeria. Well, whether you call it genocide or you don't call it genocide, let me speak as a victim. I am not just a student of research, but I'm speaking as a victim of these gruesome circumstances around the Nigerian people, where innocent lives have been taken away by some people who think they have more right than others in this nation. And some people have reduced it to herders and farmers clash. No, sir, this has been ongoing. I grew up in northern Nigeria. My father was a pastor with the Assemblies of God Church. One morning we just woke up in Assemblies of God Church, Samaru Zaria, somewhere adjacent the north gate of Samaru Zaria. My father was a pastor. All of a sudden we woke up in the morning, no provocation, nothing. And the next thing we were hearing was people were just running all over our house and the church with machetes and all of that. The next thing was they started pouring petrol all over the building, both the church and the house, because our house was attached to the church. And the next thing was flames. Everything was burned right down to ashes. We narrowly escaped, found a place where we could shelter ourselves in the military barracks. Eventually, they brought us back to the lecturers' quarters of ABU Zaria, and we had to camp with a family for weeks and months before we could rebuild and start life all over again. That is long. I'm talking about 1986, 87. What about the Metasine situation? Metasine was a sect of the Islamic religion who went around burning and destroying and killing Christians back in the 80s. This is far before there was anything like farmers and herders clash. Then fast forward. What about in the year 2000, where over 2,000 people were killed in Kaduna? Year 2000. What about the over 300 people that were victims of the Miss World in November 2002? All of them, they were not a part of the Miss World. They were just on their own. Something happened somewhere else, and they became victims of it. Lives were killed, houses were destroyed, and whenever they are carrying out this charade, they will be shouting, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and they will carry their matches and carry whatever they have, and they will move in their numbers. And everybody on their way that is not chanting what they are chanting becomes a victim. I can go on and on. A few years ago, I was preaching in Kaduna for a great man of God. And I only succeeded in preaching Sunday morning service. After the service, the next morning, as we were preparing for the next service on Monday, the next thing I was hearing was, the whole city is on fire. Kaduna is on fire. Please stay in the hotel room. Don't come out. They are killing, they are burning churches. They are killing everybody. That is how we were stuck in a hotel. Even in the hotel, we were not sure of ourselves, because they were going from hotel to hotel, room to room, killing people that were not chanting Allahu Akbar. And somehow God saved our souls. After about 4 days, we were able to leave Kaduna. But unfortunately, a friend of mine who was a pastor, Reverend Northcote Andrew of blessed memory, was caught in the midst of this as he was escaping for his life. They caught him because he was wearing a collar of a bishop. They hacked him to death, dug the ground, buried him, and put a cross there. It is that little wooden cross that made people know that there was a corpse in that place. And this, my friend, was buried. These are real life situations. So for somebody to just sit down in the comfort of his home, maybe somewhere in the south, and be saying there's no such thing in northern Nigeria, my brother, you've not been a part of it. We've been right in the heart of the fire. I remembered one night, these Muslim boys were all over the place in my school, and they were shouting Allahu Akbar. They were looking for me. I had to escape. That night, my saving grace was that I found a female hostel and I slept under the bed. By the next day, I left town. For what? I did nothing. No provocation. Just because I am preaching the gospel. And of course, some of them believe that once you are not of the Islamic faith, you are an infidel. And they believe that if you kill an infidel, you will sleep with 7 virgins. All of this kind of indoctrination that leads to violence at the slightest provocation, whether it has to do with the people or not. You just get on the streets. What about the Reinhard Bonnke crusade? I'm talking about the Reinhard Bonnke crusade in Kano, where people were hacked, macheted, and killed just because a crusade where the gospel of Christ was going to be preached. And that is why I thank God for people like President Donald Trump, who lent his voice to what is going on here. At least, for whatever is what, there's an ongoing conversation all over the world. The matter is no more put under the carpet. And we don't want just conversations. We want some action. And in the midst of all this, it snowballed into the herders and farmers clash. It snowballed into banditry, and everything becomes very complicated. And people are dying by the day. There are people in northern Nigeria, places like Borno State, places like Plateau State, places like Benue State, places like southern Kaduna, where whole villages have been taken over by some of these bandits, by some of these Islamic extremists, by some of these Boko Haram people. They've taken over whole villages, driven the villagers away. And somebody said there is no such thing in Nigeria. Why do we have IDP camps? Why do we have IDP camps when we never had an earthquake? We never had an earth tremor. Why do we have IDP camps when there is no natural disaster? Other than the fact that people are being made victims of what they have no knowledge of. In a secular state like Nigeria, where all religions are permitted to be practiced, this ought not to be allowed. This ought not to be allowed at all. Our government have a duty. Now, when you live in a country like that, where you don't know what becomes of you the next day, you go out, you don't know if you're going to come back. When you go to church, you're not sure if you're going to come back. When you live in such a country, it's almost as if there's no government. And because the first responsibility of government is security of lives and properties. That's the first responsibility of government, whether at the federal level, at the state level, or at the local government level. Because the population don't have access to arms. But unfortunately, some of these bandits, some of these terrorists, some of these extremists, they are carrying AK-47s, and you wonder where did they get them from? In fact, it's unfortunate that at a point in Nigeria, there was even a local government in Borno State where Boko Haram drove all our Nigerian security forces and put their flag there. It's very unfortunate. And the government of Nigeria needs to do something quickly. Otherwise, where this is taking us to, we do not know. This has to come to an end. The ADP camps need to be emptied. Let people go back to their homes. Let people go back to their villages. Let people go back to their farmlands. Let people go back to their habitations so that they can live normal lives. So they can live the life they are supposed to live on earth. You know, this is very, very important. And this conversation is so critical at this time. And it's critical that I add my voice to it as a victim of this situation in a country like Nigeria. And I'm believing God that the day has come when this menace will surely come to an end. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
You say?
I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
Thank you.
The job people are already angry that this is the worst government.
We have just started.
We must learn a lesson. This man!
You gotta trust man. Adam. Your eyes will see what.
This is not the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know. Since 1992 when I encounter you, I don't think this is the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know. That calls me his friend and I call him my friend. And calls me my son and I call him my father. This is not the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know.
That AC Poopa. I have no idea. I've got no clue. But yeah, that was him just expressing his then frustration. So yeah, there are killings in Nigeria, and there are people who are doing their best to suppress that because it makes them look bad. They don't want to look bad, so they would rather live in denial. And your government is the same. You know, there's a difference between you and I arguing whether they are a Christian genocide or a Muslim genocide or whatever. Keep arguing. But for your government, they should be more precise in their decisions, right? But they are not. Government is offering amnesty to terrorists while people continue to be chased away from their own homes. They ended up in IDP camps. IDP camp is a fancy word for refugee camp. You know, when they tell you that people are living in a refugee camp, they have been living in refugee camps for more than 10 years now in their millions. So you'll be like, refugee, did Nigeria have any natural disaster? Did something happened that people had to like move? Well, the natural disaster that happened to Nigeria is APC. The terrorists are very much aware of this, and they are still holding their peace meeting here and there. Like you would think, the moment Donald Trump made that statement, the government of Nigeria will quickly pass the message to their own state governors and say, listen, you need to stop this madness now. We do not want any peace nonsense with these guys. But no, the same guys who are telling you that there is no Christian genocide are also the same brain, the terrorists behind the peace talk with the terrorists. So to them, they are using non-kinetic. They are making peace. But right where they are having their peace meeting, they are also receiving the news of there are other terrorists who have now kidnapped other people. And if you have an idea, you know, when people get kidnapped and killed, it's horrible. But do you even understand what it is like for the families of those who have been kidnapped before and ransom paid? If you know how many families whose lives have been destroyed completely because they had to sell all of their belongings. to pay ransom to these terrorists. Government is paying terrorists. Government is rewarding terrorists, and nobody is even talking about the victims. No. And the victims, people are like, they are beginning to see them now, like the effect of this terrorism in northern part of Nigeria, beyond all this massacre, all this genocide, right? Even those who survived the abductions of these terrorists, ask them if their lives remain the same again. Their lives never remain the same again. But your government officials, your politicians are busy planning how to make the terrorists comfortable. So in Tinubu's response, which is subtly, like, is not direct. So he was called to come and speak at the Editors Guild inside the Aso Rock. And then he went on with all his dash, right? So I chose to play that for you in this middle of the conversation, okay? It's the boring part, all right? But we just need to hear it and see if you could make any sense of it. So Koolu this afternoon. Now, Koolu himself addressing them and talking about the freedom you enjoy. He said that, many Nigerians are now publishers themselves because everybody now share their own news as they come about them, right? So he wants you to please say something nice about the contraption, because among everything you may accuse his regime of, you won't say he's very much confrontational with the media. And it's what he won't have to do, right? Koolu.
Over subsidy remover, quote unquote, the floating of our exchange rate, removing the arbitrage, the corruption in the society, and the opportunity blocked against the entire economy. We should celebrate that one today. That the tunnel of darkness and the headwind of the economy is getting better. It is my privilege to welcome you to the State House. This is for free. It's your house. This year's annual conference of Nigerian Guild of Editors. Your presence here reflects the enduring importance of the media in shaping national direction and strengthening democratic life. I commend the leadership of the Guild for sustaining the tradition of reflection and professional engagement. The theme you have chosen, democratic governance and national cohesion, role of editors, invite us to reflect on the state of our democracy and the way in which public discourse can either strengthen or weaken the bonds that hold our nation together. This conversation is necessary as we continue to build institutions that are transparent, resilient, and trusted by our citizens. Throughout our history, journalism in Nigeria has been more than a profession. It has been an instrument of national awakening. From early newspapers that challenged the colonial injustice to the principled voices that kept hope alive during the dark days of the military dictatorship. And at this junction, I must say thank you, Aremon Segun Osoba. I thank you for the commitment, dedication, patriotism, and partnership that we all
The blah. Don't worry, I'm going to be like quick with him, okay? So that you don't get bored to death. So talking about the independence of the media, which is not really independent, right? So, and then it went on again. Watch this.
It's a large, as you know, and diverse country. Debate and differences are part of our reality. However, disagreement must never translate into erosion of national cohesion. Criticism, when informed and constructive, is a service to the nation. But cynicism that breeds mistrust and despair can weaken the very foundation of the society we seek to improve. The national interest must always remain paramount. We live in a time when information travels rapidly and widely. Social media has made every citizen a potential publisher. This has benefits, but it also increases the speed and scale of misinformation. Falsehood can take root before truth has time to speak. In such an environment, the editorial function is more important than ever. Verification must be your anchor. Balance must be your principle. And professional judgment must be your guide. I urge you, therefore, to continue upholding the highest standard of journalism. Report boldly, but do so truthfully. Criticize government policy, but do so with knowledge and fairness. Your aim must never be to tear down what we are building together, but to help build a better society. On our part, this administration remained committed to securing our nation, sustaining economic stability, and widening the circle of opportunity for all citizens. The reform we have undertaken have been challenging, but they are designed to place our economy on a strong and enduring footing. We have taken steps to restore macroeconomic balance, encourage investment, and build confidence. The signs of progress are visible in several sectors of the economy.
I mean, I could sit down and write all that kind of jargons, right? There's something about government when they start talking about information and misinformation. And it beggars belief, right, that the people who thrives in propaganda, whose number one instrument of chaos is their propaganda, where they plant lies every now and then. But social media has been, has been their own sort of like a albatross, right? The karma. Because social media is a place where if something happened right now and you put it on the social media, that means the government has no control. There's no editorial. There's nobody that's going to try to bury some certain things because they don't want to give the government bad name or bad image in the public. So before social media, these guys have always been the gatekeepers of all information. They hired what they call the jobbers, people who get to help misinform the public, mislead them, and on and on and on. So they own media houses here and there. Then social media came, and people could become, influencers who have millions. Like some of us actually have access to millions of people than the government themselves. Although people will say, oh, the government is like the biggest, they always have no, that's not true. You have citizens who currently have access to over 100, 200 million, 300 million people worldwide, including Nigeria, right? And on a regular basis, and there are many. So it means that the government no longer controls they no longer gatekeep access to information. So stupidity is now by choice. And governments continue to still work on those foolish ones that relies on their lies. So when your government is lying, they will say it is policy, it is government policy. But when you lie, they will say you want to cause national problem. So they use propaganda, right? When they lie, they call it propaganda, by the way. So propaganda to say we don't have to, because we need to regulate public perception so that we don't burn the country. So using that is, controlling the avenue or how you have access to information and the type of information you have access to, which was their sole sort of like a power then. They've lost it. So social media now became a threat where the government that lies to the people every day, the government that continue to shift posts, right? Whenever they are asked to take responsibility, right? They will shift the goalposts. And then they will find a ways of kind of like twisting it, blending, So social media makes it impossible. And their fear is that if more people actually have access to this information, it could spell a doom for them. So they have to, kind of like give a dog a bad name in that sense by telling people that social media, on the one hand, they will appeal to you. On the other hand, they are haunting people based on the information they put out that they felt like could undermine their own regime. So Koolu on the part of security, because if they are doing something, you will feel it, you will see it. That's how it should be, right? And then, if they are not doing it so well, you can possibly like question them on that, criticize them on that. When they are not really doing it, but they are giving themselves medals to say, you may not see what we are doing, it's because you are blind. Give it time, you are going to see it later. Why do I have to see it later? Why do you have to explain to me what you are doing? When what you are doing, according to you, has already, they have already started having impact positively on the people, and I'm one of the people. So why do you have to explain to me what you have done, which you are also telling me that I'm already enjoying, but I am not? And then you're like, oh, don't worry. The reason why you are not seeing it is because you are blind. It's because you don't like us, and other stupid things they say, right? Now to that part of their security and Trump. Listen to this.
Over despair. Let us remember that the stories we tell ourselves as a nation and as a people influence the country we become. I've listened to the request of the chairman of the guild, while with the full write-up noted that the corporate tax relief part of the reform, VAT exemption for media tax credits, affordable loans from BOI and BBN. establish development grants for digitization, repeal laws that inhibit press freedom, discuss it now, highlight it if you know. I, as your president, endorsed its proposals. Media and safety data will be our own. Distinguished editors, your work matters. The tone you sent in your newsroom. I watched the tone on some channels recently on Alhambra election. Before the result, you start here, vote buying, vote buying. Who is selling? If there is no reason to complain, let's be cheerleaders. It's our country. It is our country. We are going to be discussing the value charter from here. What should be worrisome to you is the image of the country you project over the outside world. How well your institution is making effort to build a nation of credibility with integrity that is required. Yeah, we may be poor. Poverty is not going to be our master. We are going to come out of it. Yes, we are challenged by terrorism, banditry, and others. We recognize that. Are we doing something about it? Are we inspiring the armed forces? Are we encouraging them to fight? They put their lives on the line to defend the national sovereignty of this country. It is our responsibility. Take it as part of laundry list of discussions here. Your request is in my pocket.
ọ̀rọ̀ tó sọ yìí ọ̀ ń ṣeré ni àbọ̀ ń ṣe èrè ọ̀rọ̀ tó sọ yìí ọ̀ ń ṣeré ni àbọ̀ ń ṣe èrè.
But anyway, it didn't start today. So that was a call reminding you that just like others have been speaking, are we doing anything about it? Yes. Are we inspiring the yes. Nonsense. There was somebody who posted something online, and they said if they were the Nigeria's president, they will make a very brief, like a short statement after this Donald Trump's threat, just to send a signal to these guys and say, they gave me up. And that would be like, those of you, those terrorists operating in Nigeria, especially those of you who killed 20 of my own citizens, Nigerians, this past week, we will find you. We will look for you. We will find you, and we will we'll kill you. Something like that comes from the president and say, well, I have hereby instructed the Nigerian, defense chiefs to put together this, something that inspires kind of like hope. But that's not Koolu. Everybody around will be telling you that we are doing everything. But their soldiers are underpaid, poorly paid, right? Poorly armed as well, surprisingly, despite all the weapons they're getting, right? So they are still poorly paid, equally, they don't have real weapons per se in some extent where they have overspent their own time. They have this shift. Sorry, they have this shift, right? For everyone they sent to the theater, they call it theater, right? When they send it to all these terror-prone areas, okay? So you are expected for your own mental health as a soldier, you are expected to be there for maximum of 6 months. And after 6 months, you'll be sent somewhere else. Another batch will go, they'll send them back and all of that. Some of them are rotting away in that northeast, northwest, and other places where they have been told to keep playing defense. Keep playing defense. Nothing like attack or strike, so to say. So Tinubu and this gang continue to tell you that, people are being killed. Do we have challenges? Alaye, that's not promising. That's not presidential, but it's a baron, isn't it? A baron that put together thugs. Thugs like Wiki, remember? That's really wicked. So for what happened yesterday in Abuja, some of you followed it, didn't you? Well, this morning, his own lapdog, Larry Olayinka, was on channels to tell us what really happened or why that happened. So according to him, he said this retired naval admiral or something, okay, who bought a piece of land, and the piece of land was actually sold to him by fraudulent people, which means the whole purchase and all that was questionable. So they would have preferred they would have preferred this retired naval staff to come to the Wike's office and let them sort it like that. But what this guy didn't say, for your information, is that from Rothiefmi I gather from what happened yesterday. So they said this retired naval officer, right, a 3-star general or something, right, who bought this land, now realized or discovered that among the lands that Wiki has been collecting, grabbing from these owners in Abuja, that Wiki had delivered all these choice areas, not everywhere, choice areas, just choice lands. So Wiki had increased the annual, is that called annual, by the way, land use charges, which you have to pay to Abuja's administration, right? If you're a landowner in Abuja, you probably will understand this. So they said usually this was like ₦1 million per annum or something. So Wiki had jacked that up already to between 10 million and 15 million per plot of land. So there are others who have been caught up in that, landowners right now running a tasketa to try to pay their money so that Wiki can say, oh, your own land is free, your own land is free. Some others who actually had the money to pay have discovered that Wiki had cancelled their CFO. Like you have a land, you've had this land, you have all the papers, everything, only for you to get to the ministry and they say, no, your CFO is no longer valid. Wiki had cancelled it. So what are you going to do? Pay money for land use charges or buy the land again? Or what are you going to do? So they said, these are more where the things going on behind the scene. But Wiki met his match, all right, in that naval officer who was supposed to stop them. Okay, so Larry Olayinka, who was there to spin, was struggling to spin in that. In fact, he actually said the soldier was unruly, was on court to Wiki, which actually wasn't true, right? Here.
Let's go back to how we got to that level. That particular land was allocated to a company in 2007, Santos Estate Limited, for park and recreation. Let me say this again. Allocated in 2007 for park and recreation. The company did not do anything on the land because that place is a parkway, it's a walkway, it's a road corridor. You don't build there. Then in 2022, The company wrote to the FCTA, the minister, oh, I want approval from you to convert the purpose to commercial. From park to build park. You know what park is, a recreation, not permanent structures. Probably in anticipation of the minister's approval for conversion, the man decided to partition the land, a land allocated to him for park and recreation. He now partitioned the land and sold to people, including the former chief of naval staff. And that is why I want to say here that the former chief of naval staff was scammed. He was scammed. And he has realized that he was scammed. Instead of him to now come out and seek help, he resorted to use military might. Now, in 2022, the minister of FCT declined that request, did not grant the request for change of land use made by that company. That was where it ended. But he had already sold the land to people, probably giving them impression that the land use will change. Wike was not the minister then.
In 2022,
Wike was not the minister. Now, after selling land allocated to you for park and recreation, for people to build house, who should the former chief of naval staff go and hold? The person who scammed him or the government? He chose not to hold the person who scammed him, the company who scammed him. Now again, that particular portion has now been redesignated for the purpose of, if you know Abuja very well, you know how Babushi is. That is where you have Ministry of Works, Environment. That portion of the land, that parkway, is for public buildings and corporate buildings, not residential. Meaning that you cannot build residential house there. That is one. So as of today, Vice Admiral Gambo does not have a document, a title document, showing that he owns the land. He does not own the land. Now, assuming we're not considering that he has title documents and he owns the land, before you begin development of a land, there are processes you must pass through. One of such processes is to have a building plan. Building plan showing what you want to put on the land. And you take your building plan to the development control. See, you take your building plan to development control. The question Nigerians should ask Vice Admiral Gambo is, did he take the building plan on that land to development control, and the development control approve the building plan? So,
nuisance, Lele.
I'm going to tell you a story. Please listen. Oh, this is a true life story. And sometimes when you listen to these idiots, they probably believe that there are so many dumb people in Nigeria and there will be no backlashes and all that. They are so cunning, so tricky, and so evil. You see, when something comes to land and government, it is the most heinous thing that these criminal politicians always conspire. They don't give a damn about if your land was acquired through your sweat. No, they don't give a damn. Now, let me tell you that story. Sometimes in year 2000, almost 25 years ago, sometimes in year 2000, we had the local government chairman in Odogbolu. He is still alive, I think. His name is Ayokunle Bolujoko. So I have been involved in politics all of that time. I've been like around them. Now he had issue with one political leader in AD. That back then it was AD, Alliance for Democracy. You remember? So he was the executive chairman, the first one after military. Here you get. So this party leader, his own party leader, they were now talking about second term. You get me now? Because that was when they were like, local government will only spend 3 years. So they were talking about second term, which will happen sometimes maybe in 2003. It was like a year or two ahead, away. So it was obvious that this leader could possibly pose a problem of him getting his second term. So we're seated in his executive chairman's kind of like quarters. All right, I was there. And then they were talking about this old man. And then from the blues, like everybody was talking on this, try this, maybe we should try that, maybe we should call Kinikon, that stuff. Then this guy, our own chairman, just uttered and he said, all these things all of you are saying is very kind of, you are wasting your time. When I have his time, I will redraw the road, the map, or sorry, the road network of this town. And which means I would tell everybody that, you see that place, he has his house, he built his house. That place was supposed to be a park. In fact, there was a road that was supposed to pass there. Because of him, he would demolish other maybe about 30, 40 houses there. Because of that man. He said it. He said it so casually that that thing stuck with me up to this day. The evil that could actually really go through the mind of criminal politicians. They can destroy everything in their path. And they will tell you that it is government. Yeah. If you want a map for that ministry to come out with a map that doesn't exist, that even the people who are the landowners there, they've never seen before, they will pull it out and say, well, this place was supposed to be, they will take the land, reallocate it, and then build houses there. The same thing they told you couldn't build. Government can come up with anything to take your land. Anything. These criminal politicians, because their business is not really to bring development. It is to exploit a potential development. And development means something that actually affects you positively. Here you get. But have you ever seen anywhere that the casualty of their road construction, their disconstruction, have actually been ever been adequately compensated? When they take land from people for road construction, they take care of themselves. That's how they do. And they don't even have to like give it to themselves directly. So you say, okay, this is the governor's daughter. No. They are friends with all these fake companies. SPV, they call them. So, Larry Olayinka talking about the people who have had their lands, their documents. He's talking about them like they should bring the development approval. They should bring the plan or building approval. How do you get building approval? Now, this is not to excuse them. Don't get me wrong. You are expected, once you have your land, right? You are expected to present that land to government for verification. They've done all of that before this wiki emerged from anywhere. Are you with me? However, when he came on his own agenda, targeting people's lands, all he's got to do is to tell you that your document is fake. Oh, you got the land wrongly. Oh, the government that allocated land to you back then, that government shouldn't have given you that much land. So we are taking this. Oh, they just need one reason. And you can't win. They are the government. I've got my documents here. This is my document. Because of you, they can attempt to destroy the lives of 1,000 other people just because of you. And that is what Larry Olayinka was talking about. So here is his statement on the soldier guy, right? Like we all saw that video, didn't we? But now, Larry Olayinka is telling us that guy was so rude to Werewike. As how now? Talking about rude.
By the defense headquarters. So when people say that no step was taken, yesterday, the minister called the chief of defense staff before he left his office. He called him and he told him, when he got to that place, the portion there, at the site, the minister also called the chief of defense staff. You see from the video that he gave his phone to that unruly officer.
You call him unruly?
Yes, because
he
he was unruly. He gave the phone to him. See, as I'm here like this, I'm a Yoruba person. I'm from Ekiti. We respect authority, we respect elder. If my phone ring now and the person call and say, good evening, good morning, my name is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, do you think I'll be sitting on this chair answering that call? I won't. I will stand up.
Yeah, but that says you.
But, yes.
That is your cultural...
The minister gave him phone to talk to the CDS. And I saw the way there was no sign that this person was even talking to the CDS. He was normal. Talking to this chief of defense staff. And I saw arrogance yesterday. That person, that fellow, that officer was referring to policemen, fellow uniform men, as bloody policemen. You can't talk to me like that. I am a commissioned officer. You can't talk to me. I am a commissioned officer. You bloody policemen. And the policemen also got angry. How can you, a uniform man, be ridiculing your fellow uniform people?
I'll just say, to our viewers, because we were unable to show the full length of the video owing to time, and also some things that were said there, we're not allowed to play them according to NBC codes. Let us drill down on that, because clearly, when you watch the full length of the video, the minister lost his temper at some point. And he called the officer a name that he ought not to have called the officer.
Anybody, any human being, even me, I lost my temper. See.
Nuisance, Lele.
Getting sick, the nuisance. He's talking about Yoruba's respectful, ways of respecting elders. And that has also sparked a debate. In Yoruba land, indeed, we are raised to be very respectful. Like, physically show it. Sure you get. So when you're talking to elders and all that. So it got so bad that these unscrupulous supposed elders have actually now chosen not to take responsibility. Do you understand? It's a very terrible situation because they've abused it. For you to be called an elder, you must sort of like have the character, the virtue of an elderly person who respects everyone, respects your peers. You don't lie to them. You don't treat them with disdain in a condescending way, and then expect them to just be like, sorry, sir. It's just, I'm happy, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Like you have to be shaking, pretentious. This has made a lot of us, or probably, a lot of us, to have played along ignorantly. There are some of these rogues that do not deserve your respect whatsoever. Yeah. When you see people who don't take responsibility, they are among the worst kind of people. Those who can easily tell you because they are older than you. They can easily tell you or talk you down, even if they are wrong. And you are not expected to talk back because you are raised not to talk. This useless idiot, this foolish, shut up your mouth, I'm talking. I say, why should I shut up my mouth? Because you're talking. You've got no respect for me, no regard. You look at me, but you want me to be like, pretend that I come from a very good home. The homes that raised slaves, meek cowards, in the front of bullies. You are expected to show your own training. Don't say anything. He's older than you. You need to respect your elders. That's exactly what that old mofo, Lere Oleyinka, was trying to push. But at the end of the day, I love how, Mokwe put him in his place and said, well, Werewike was the one who was actually like verbally abusing this young man. What do you think about that? He lost his cool. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, he lost his cool. Me too, I could lost my cool. Like, what the heck? You are not an enforcer. You are a minister. You are not an enforcer. But because it is the government of the rogues, for the rogues, and by the rogues. So what do you expect? Eh? Well, that is that. It's got a boss. His former boss, or maybe his second boss now. I don't know. His name is Paulishe. Now, Paulishe is the former governor of Ekiti, by the way, and a member of PDP too. But he's also an advocate of the demise of PDP as an opposition. Okay. So according to him, right, like Oleyinka himself, okay. So according to Paulishe, there doesn't seem to be anything that's going to stop Tinubu. And it's better right now for everybody to kind of like come to that term. For PDP, they are done for. And according to him, he won them last year on the same channel's television, but maybe people like now, people didn't take him serious. Yeah, that's Paulishe.
PDP. I particularly called you and I said to you that earlier today, that the mess in which your party has found itself, and I was so subtly begging some of you on television about the danger and implication of PDP collapsing totally. Now, what intrigues me is the fact that there is a substantive judgment of court where 3 leaders of the party, one chairman from Abia, another from Imo, they went and obtained, and I have a judgment of court on that matter. Here there was a court order in Ibadan, another ex-party order now in Abuja. What kind of mess has your party found itself?
Well, Shehu, let me thank you. Today, I was on this program about 3 weeks ago. And when you asked me to come, and I said, Shehu, I'm not a member of Channels TV. And you said this is a very important concern. You want me to throw light. And I hope you will allow me to do that. Well, I said it repeatedly on this program. And I've been able to tell Nigerians, not Shehu Kimbalue, the challenges confronted by a party whose big eggs, big players jump out of the waters. That clearly shows you the challenge of a PDP. And who is going to cure Jerusalem? Who is going to save Jerusalem when the people that are supposed to save Jerusalem has jumped out of the waters? That is a story for another day. And I said to you about a year ago that the PDP is in trouble. And if you don't find that solution on time, the party will be dead. And the party is dead. Now, the party is dead. Again, with all respect, my name is Ayo Fayoshi, popularly known as Oshokomole. Some people call him Peter the Rock. So I had to tell you the hard truth. And I want to say to you, Shehu, nobody in this country today has come to confront me to say, Fayoshi, you said this 10 years ago. You are saying it again today. Nobody. I'm yet to have that. PDP is in trouble. The trouble has gone bad, and they are in comatose.
PDP.
Just about to be buried. That's a Paulishe. And he went on as well to buttress his point by saying, in case if you are doubting, there are already 2 governors on their way to go and join Tinubu again. The one I told you back then, Taraba and Plateau State. The governor of Plateau State sort of like denied that he was joining APC. But it seemed that he would have no choice. Because here is the problem now. For you to understand, again, what they have done to PDP, and possibly to others as well, okay, is that opposition is finished in that sense. Maybe they can pull another stunt any moment from now, but they are finished in that sense. So those who are lawmakers of PDP, listen to this. So those who are lawmakers of PDP in Abuja, they are state governors, and every state in Nigeria is currently formed, okay? Simply means that if you are running to contest any election in Nigeria as at for the 2027, there is a chance that you would have no national officers to sign your interest forms. And without them, you are not going to be able to contest an election. So Tinubu and Werewike, they've boxed PDP to his side that it is as good as dead. But listen to Faulishe. He continues.
They said they are moving forward, but what's your own position?
Well, let me first of all say it is wrong of me to join and insult Dr. Ediola Fesho. He's my friend, and I was part of the people who supported him to be the national vice chairman. We forget so quickly, but I will not join issues with him because he's not the issue, I'm not the issue. He shall remain my brother, I shall continue to love him. I will not descend to the arena. The moment you descend the arena, we will not make the sense out of this whole story. Well, let me say to you, when fish decays from the body, you can salvage it. But when the fish decays from head, you cannot salvage it. Currently, the PDP has decayed from the head. So salvaging the PDP is history. Dr. Ediola Fesho said they are continuing. Anybody can continue in illegality, in whatever they choose to continue in. I won't join issues with him. But there is end for a certain man or a certain people. The end will justify these whole stories. Dr. Ediola Fesho and I know each other very well. He knows what I'm talking about. He's my guy. So I understand his peculiarity. Let me leave it like that. Oh, my brother, enjoy your evening, enjoy your romance. That is good. Anyway, Sheung, I've not come here for one day to deceive Nigerians about PDP. And I've not hid the fact that I will never leave PDP. I've not hid the fact that I am a great supporter of the president. Say Yoruba man. I stand to be corrected. And I've said to you severally that PDP is in trouble. I said this many months, many years ago. I equally came back here and said to you, 3 governors will leave the PDP. After my visit here 3 weeks ago, Governor Diri left, who was actually the chairman of the campaign screening committee or whatever. He left them. I equally remember another governor left. That is Governor Enugu. I can't remember. And the third one is Governor Taraba, who was handed over by the president to the national chairman of APC. Am I correct or wrong?
All right.
Am I correct? So when I come here to say the truth, Nigeria knows I don't play to the gallery. These 3 governors, another one will leave very soon. Oh. Governor Plateau will leave very soon. You may not answer me, but I'm telling you again. After Governor Plateau, another governor will leave. But when I come back here, I will remind you again. The truth is better said.
Governor Faulishe, thank you so much indeed. Governor Ayodele.
You don't try. That's the state of PDP. They are planning to have their convention, by the way. I think it's going to be this weekend. Yeah. There's also another court injunction that says that another faction should be recognized by INEC. Now, all of this, in this whole confusion, right, the time is ticking. So same thing is happening to this ADC as well, just for the mention, okay? Now, Asari Dokudump has also reacted. He's joined this, those who are speaking up in support of Werewike on what happened yesterday, okay? So his own take, just before we continue.
So when I talk about Wike, Wike, a serving minister in the government, in where he has the power of a governor, goes to a place and a military officer, because he's wearing a military uniform, will come out and stop him from having access. And people are applauding that is courage. If it's courage, let him go to Sambisa now. I think they're looking for people in Sambisa. Let us not make an excuse. Is it guiding private property? Is that why they engage him in the military? This is me. I don't do anything for you to like me. Hate me. if today you just hate me small, hate me more now. Because the truth I will tell, have lived the way they want to live. A minister who approved the CFO does not have the power to go to the land for which he approved CFO for. He does not have power to go to the land or for which he approved CFO for. He has the power to approve CFO. What a funny country. And standing up. If he's not wearing that uniform and he stood up to Wike, I would have said yes. He's wearing a uniform. His people are carrying guns. So that is, it's like you are carrying gun, the other man is not carrying gun, and you say you are showing courage. What sort of courage are you showing? He has no business even protecting that property. That is not his primary area of assignment. He should go to his primary area of assignment. As far as I'm concerned, Wike has every official, he has every official authority to be there. As the superintending officer for Abuja, as the person who signed the CFO, and who has the power to revoke that same CFO. We might like him, we might like Wike, or we hate him. That does not matter in this case. It's his official position, and there's he has every right to be there. Number two, a military man is not superior to anybody in Nigeria. We are all equal under the Constitution of Nigeria. He chose to be in the military. Other chose to be in other places. Other chose to be teachers, to be doctors, to be engineers, to be wheelbarrow pushers, to be Meirua, Medoya. They chose to be. He chose. And it is not, the army is not open for everybody. You want to go to NDA, they do all these things, all sort of galaba, brala, like, ping, entire, all those nonsense. It's not open to everybody. If everybody is allowed to go to NDA, like it's done, where military recruitment is open to everybody in every country, enlistment in the army is open to everybody or is made compulsory, then we will say that some people are running away. When there is real war now, they will constrict people to come into the army to go and fight. And even those who they constricted, they will not give them respect. What sort of rubbish mentality is that? And they want us to accept it. The military man should be reprimanded. He should be taken in and reprimanded. First, where he is, he was not supposed to be there. Two, the chief security officer of Abuja is Wike, and is subordinate to him, and whoever sent him is subordinate to Wike in Abuja. And that's the Constitution.
Tiagasa, they Tiagasa, he fell, he fainted, he passed out. He passed out. 70 years old man. But when their people came, Tiagasa.
Sorry, Dokudom. That's right. So, people have shared the clip of Wike's encounter with other landowners who had all their documents presented. And Wike was, as usual, in his usual thuggery way, right? Treated them this way. It's a flashback. Remember this video?
This is Area Council.
Hey, keep quiet. If you are educated, every man can be
we know.
And that was what
now.
Went and sold land. He started doing anything. The Supreme Court said you don't have power. And all they did was to apply to us to please down them that they can accusation. You don't sit here to
so, do we go back to the area council? Do we go back to the area council and we're in court, sir.
Look, if you like, go and carry across and the worst one is there. Who told you we have a
We did not harass you, sir. It's a lie, we did not harass them, it's a lie, It is a lie, sir.
You know what I will say to you? We
never did, sir. It's a wrong information, sir.
It's a wrong information. Listen, we don't even know the reason why.
Sir, it's okay, sorry.
Who told you can talk? If you think that you take something, you are not the only one. You have to be careful. Stupid. Because I came down to talk to you. I don't need to talk to you.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry, sir.
If you don't know what to do, don't bring their guns.
No, sir.
No, sir.
We have no guns.
No guns, sir.
So that's typical Wike. That's the way he's been addressing everyone until he met Yerima. And Yerima humbled him so much that Wike that told him to shut up, get out of here. He was the one who ended up having to walk away. Wike. That was it. But that was AI, by the way, so it's not real. So don't freak out. Right? Now let's leave that and stop by in their Abuja, because we're in Abuja. So let's stop by in Abuja's university. But 2 days ago, Obayele Sowore was a guest of their own student union government. Somehow, when this school management got wind of that, they were not comfortable. So initially they cancelled it, or it was said to have been cancelled, the program. And then it was not cancelled. So what happened next? They told the campus security, they are called, in Abuja University, to ensure that Omoyele Sowore is told that he's not welcomed in the campus, on the campus. They do not want him. And in the kind of like exchanges, this is what happened.
The safety officer of the university.
Of course, that's why I'm talking to you now.
Yeah, by the virtue of the information received from the authority,
yes,
the management,
yes,
that there is no proper permission of your visitation here. Like, there was no proper.
The student union did not take permission from them to visit.
Yes.
You are going to deny me permission because you don't have proper.
We are not denying permission. The capacity. We are not denying you, but we are just trying to.
No, I'm calling the guy. He's not picking up. But I don't. This is a university. It's a public place. We are not supposed to be denied entrance or to a university, public university. Yeah. So, but who said that you should not allow me inside?
The management.
Who is the man? The vice chancellor?
The management of the university is a team. It's not a team.
Bring my phone. Offer me a chair. I make my calls now. We are the gate of the University of Abuja. We are denied entrance to attend the program by the student union government. The security people are telling us that there's
Oh, are you?
No.
This
is our interview now.
That's interview.
Okay.
No, it's not videoing you. No. Except you want to be popular, you can enter the video. You understand? Can you call? They stopped us at the gate too. Can you call the student union leader to talk to you? He said he didn't take permission for us to come here. So they stopped us at the gate. I'm at the gate right now. So where is the student union president? And I'm calling him and he's not picking. I'm his guest. Why is he not here at the gate to ensure that there's proper opportunity to go into the campus? Nigerian universities are finished. I can't imagine that this will happen. Meanwhile, you allow all these tips to come here all the time, ministers and head of parastatals. all these criminals, you allow them. You can't allow intellectualism to take place on the university. You don't know their things. You know their things. Yeah. So what is there a dress code in this university?
But what's even wrong with what you are? Wait, what she's wearing?
No, Nigerian universities are gone.
We have a pattern of they know. They are aware of
They have stopped the students from entering the campus. Entering the campus for a proper test. This is the whole work that has to be done. I will start from here. Students who are above the age of 18 are being stopped by the university make provision for buying clothes for them. You have provision for buying clothes for them.
Do you buy for them? That's the question. What is the rules? What's wrong with our dressing? What's wrong with your dressing? And you are even...
Go inside and keep dressing like this. No, you need to dress like this, but with your food.
Only them to read book, not to wear dress.
I don't know why people are stopping who are improper. But the university system is gone, finished. I can't imagine what. At least we want something to do. We got the student who was improper.
So that's what happened. So while he was waiting, when he was stopped at the gate, so he saw the same security guys screening the students, you know, like the addresses and all that. It's crazy. Now, there is something even crazier. This one is in Yoruba. We are still trying to see, we're still trying to make the northern Nigeria see what religious extremism could do to a people, where they have made their region a breeding ground for Islamic extremism through different clerics who were believed to be teaching all these young people about Islam. But what else are they teaching them when you send your children to them? Listen to this one. It's in Yoruba, but I'll tell you the meaning if you don't understand Yoruba.
Àwọn students tí ń jáde sanawi lónìí wọn ní stamina àwọn sọ̀hábà. Kí ló dé? Nítorí àwọn tí ń kọ́ wọn ní rúyà àwọn sọ̀hábà, wọn sì gbé muhimma àwọn sọ̀hábà lọ́wọ́. Tó lọ́rọ̀ ni, it's a reality. Ẹ jẹ́ fún lápòjú ẹ̀kan. Gbogbo student ilé kéwú ẹ̀kọ́ wọn ní bọ́n ṣe máa yìnbọn. Ẹ̀kọ́ wọn ní bọ́n ṣe máa jagun. Ẹ̀kọ́ wọn ní bọ́n ṣe máa wẹ̀. Ebi Ànábì sọ pé gbogbo ọmọ tẹ́ ẹ bá bí pátápátá. Inú ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ́ gbọ́dọ̀ kọ́ wọn tó jọ́ràn èèyàn láti lé. Ó ní bóòlù yẹn ṣe máa mú okùn, bí yẹn ṣe máa wẹ̀dò, àti bí yẹn ṣe máa sùt. Ókè, bí wọ́n bá kọ́ ń lé bá yàrá ọ̀mọ́, ilé kí ó mú mọ́. Wọ́n máa ṣe ọmọ ilé kí ó kan tí ò lè sùt. Yọ́ mọ̀ bí léèrè ni pé ànàkùnrin ẹ̀kẹ́ láti sùt èzè. Ẹ̀yin gangan ẹ̀rù ọmọ bàyẹ̀ pé tí n bá kọ́ tán kí ni ó fi sí. Ìgbà yẹn lẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ara yín pé ibo wọn á gbé ibo làwọn ìgbé yìí sí. Pé fi ní dandan ká kọ́ àwọn ọmọ wẹrẹ. Kí ló dé? Kí ni ń rò kí ni ń wò? Yorùbá ni òye yìí. Àní mo ní ẹ̀kọ́ wọn máa dà jihadi. Ẹ má mú nǹkan tó pọ̀ jù ń bẹ̀ jù pé odò wíwẹ̀ gbogbo ọmọ ilé kí ọmọ odò wẹ̀. Gbogbo ọmọ ilé kí wọ́n lè sùt. Ẹ bá ń ta rọ́bà ní ìsìn ẹyẹ ni wọ́n fẹ́ pa o. Ẹ bá sì ń ta fà wọ́n fẹ́.
So in case if you don't understand, right? So that guy is a Yoruba Islamic preacher. And according to him, they need to begin to teach their children modern jihad. Like, you don't really need to pick some things, but you need to teach them two things for a start: how to swim and how to shoot. Because the children today, I mean, they have no such a training. But the Muslims must begin to teach their children modern jihad. So lastly, it was like the children who are currently shooting anything today, they are probably just using catapult to shoot at a bird, to kill birds. But you need to teach them how to shoot gun. You have to teach them modern jihad. So this ideology, extremism have been already creeping, if they have not actually already crept into Yoruba land. But once in a while, when we get to capture the moment these guys are passing this extremist ideology through their own, to their own congregation, it's ideal to raise alarm. They are not just making noise; they are being properly funded. So northern Nigeria that funded this same Islamic jihad ideology today, we know what it is like, and we know what the rest of Nigeria is as well. So those who are pushing their Sharia down south and the rest, they already have the awaiting, foot soldiers who are going to help them spread whatever it is they are or they are bringing to us. And it's not good. I don't think it's going to be anything good. That's why I share that with you. Take a look at the state called Zamfara. There is a community there. Now, the real indigenous people of this community have left, all of them, because the terrorists took over the entire community and they turned it to this, a mining field. That's somewhere in Zamfara. So after the jihadists came, killed and destroyed as much as possible, they turned the entire area into a new town, but it's like a mining town. They call them artisanas now in Zamfara. The real owners of the place have been chased away. That's one. So, just thought I should mention that before we wrap it up this evening. So, Nigerian Army also paraded, I think they said it's rescued 80 people from this terrorist in Borno also.
Kai, dan yi baya mana kawo. Kuma ba ki zama wuri ɗaya ko zan ubanki.
Okay.
Thank you, Nigeria Army. So they have been sharing a lot of what they call their own efforts in combating these terrorists. But unfortunately, the terrorists that kidnapped all those people, they said they're like over 80 rescued. There was no single terrorist killed in the operation. So according to them, the terrorists left all their bikes, their guns, and they ran away. And they left those victims for the Nigerian soldiers to rescue them. Good job, yeah? Indeed. Thank you very much for your time. Let's go to bed. right? I am going to see you another time, but please, right, like the broadcast if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't. Join me next time on Mayegun's Diary Political. Until then, have a wonderful evening.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Mayegun Diary, Diary Political.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.